He is standing in a Hong Kong auction house holding a paddle he cannot afford to raise, and his hand is trembling anyway. So, what is the most expensive thing on the planet, and can one man physically get near all of it? Attempt 1. He walks into a gallery wearing white cotton gloves he bought online, under the impression that gloves grant permission. They do not. In front of him hangs a small wooden panel, roughly the size of a cutting board, showing a man in blue robes holding a crystal orb. This is Leonardo da Vinci's Salvator Mundi, and in November 2017, it sold at Christie's for $450.3 million, making it the most expensive painting ever sold at auction. He leans in close. Closer. The gloves twitch toward the frame.
It's smaller than I thought.
It is always smaller than they think. What he doesn't know, and a plaque would have told him if this were the real one, is that he is not looking at the real one. The actual Salvator Mundi vanished from public view almost immediately after the sale. It never appeared at its scheduled Louvre exhibition. For years, the leading theory has been that it is sitting on a yacht in the Red Sea, owned by a Saudi crown prince, which means the single most expensive painting on Earth is currently a rumor. He has been staring at the reproduction for 6 minutes. Feeling rich yet?
No.
He's lying. A guard begins walking toward him at the specific speed guards use when gloves are involved.
I'm just looking.
He raises both hands. He is escorted 3 feet backward and told to enjoy the rest of his visit. Most people would take this as a sign. He takes it as a warm-up. Attempt 2. He has decided that if he cannot touch the most expensive picture, he will go touch the most expensive machine, and he arrives at a private collection to stand before a low, silver, impossibly sleek coupé. This is a 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaut coupé, and in May 2022, one of them sold for 135 million euros, about $143 million, making it the most expensive car ever sold. By a margin so wide, the second-place car isn't in the same conversation. He circles it slowly. He crouches. He examines his own reflection in the door, which is the closest he will legally get to sitting in it. Here is the part that hurts. Only 2 of these cars exist. Mercedes built them as engineering showpieces and never sold them for nearly 70 years, which is precisely why one selling at all became the automotive event of the decade. The buyer got one, Mercedes kept the other, in a vault forever. So the supply of purchasable Uhlenhaut coupés on the entire planet is now 0. He straightens up. He wanders, hopeful, toward a small gift counter near the exit.
I can't afford the keychain.
He can't. The keychain is licensed merchandise, and he is emotionally fragile. He puts it down gently, the way you set down something that has personally defeated you, and walks out into the parking lot to sit beside his own extremely normal car and think about his choices. If a $140 million car feels absurd, hold that feeling. Because from here on, the objects get smaller and the prices go completely insane. Attempt 3. He has realized his mistake. He's been chasing big things. Big is inefficient. The real money is in small. So he travels to a high-security jeweler and asks, very politely, to see the most expensive gemstone ever sold. They bring out a stone the size of a fingernail. It is pink, and it is stunning, and it is the pink star, a 59-carat pink diamond that sold in 2017 for $71.2 million, the most expensive jewel ever sold at auction. He leans over the velvet tray. His breath fogs the glass case. He is now looking at $71 million compressed into something he could lose in a couch cushion. Colored diamonds like this get their price from staggering rarity. The pink comes from a distortion in the crystal's atomic lattice, formed under conditions so specific that natural stones this size and color are essentially a geological accident that happened once. There is no factory. There is no next one. He reaches toward the glass. A red laser dot appears on the back of his hand. He withdraws the hand.
Noted.
The tray goes back into the vault. He watches it disappear with the face of a man who has just understood for the first time that being close to expensive things and having expensive things are entirely different hobbies. He steps outside. He takes a breath. And then he decides that gems are, quote, for amateurs, and goes looking for something that costs more than diamonds by weight. which is where this stops being about jewelry and starts being about physics. Attempt 4. He arrives at the gates of a national laboratory because he has learned that the most expensive materials on Earth are not dug up or painted. They are manufactured one atom at a time. Inside, in quantities too small to see, sits californium-252, a synthetic radioactive metal that costs somewhere around $27 million per gram. He presses his face to a reinforced window. He sees nothing. That's correct. Californium isn't found in nature in any meaningful amount. It's produced in a small handful of reactors on the planet, a few tenths of a gram total per year, worldwide, by bombarding other synthetic elements for months. It's used to start nuclear reactors and scan for gold and oil. And it's so radioactive that a visible chunk would cook the room, which is why the entire global supply could fit in something the size of a marble and absolutely should not.
Is it glowing?
It is not glowing, and he should be relieved about that. But he has caught the scent now. He wants smaller. He wants more expensive. So somewhere in a lab, a scientist mentions a substance a small British company once sold. Endohedral fullerenes, single nitrogen atoms trapped inside microscopic carbon cages, used to build absurdly precise atomic clocks, priced at roughly $167 million per gram. He holds up a vial containing an amount he cannot perceive with his eyes. Correct again. And he's about to learn that he has still not reached the top. Not even close. Everything so far, the painting, the car, the diamond, the impossible atoms in the vial, all of it can, in theory, be bought. He is now going to go looking for the one thing on the planet that essentially cannot. Attempt 5. He walks into the visitor center of a particle physics laboratory in Switzerland, and for once the narrator will be honest with you. This is the real answer. This is the top of the mountain. This is antimatter. Antimatter is the mirror image of ordinary matter. Same mass, opposite charge. And when a single particle of it touches a single particle of the normal world, both vanish instantly in a flash of pure energy. NASA has estimated the cost of antihydrogen at around $62.5 trillion per gram. Not million, not billion, trillion, a number larger than the economy of most countries, for 1 gram of a thing you can never hold, because the instant it touched your hand in it would cease to exist. He stands in front of the machine that makes it. He is very quiet. He understands finally that he has been climbing a ladder this whole time without knowing it, and this is the last rung. The facilities on Earth capable of producing antimatter make it a few atoms at a time, at colossal energy cost, and store it suspended in magnetic traps in a vacuum so that it never, ever touches anything. All the antimatter humanity has ever deliberately produced, gathered together across decades, would not power a light bulb for very long. To make a single gram would take these machines billions of years and more money than the species has ever had. So he cannot buy it. He cannot touch it. He cannot see it, photograph it, or steal it. It is the most expensive thing on the planet precisely because it refuses to be owned. He raises one gloved hand and places it, very gently, flat against the outside of the containment chamber. The closest a human being can get to the most expensive substance in existence without triggering a small explosion.
I can't even see it.
That's as far as it goes. The most expensive thing on Earth turned out to be a few atoms of antimatter no one can hold, worth trillions per gram. And he touched the box it lives in, which he's decided counts. He peels off the white cotton gloves, folds them with great dignity, and drops them in a bin labeled radioactive waste, which is the single most expensive mistake he's made all day.